Well, howdy, modelers. How y'all doing? This is Alan, and we got a new engine to the layout, and we're wanting to do a review here for you. This is one of Skill Train's newest Gevos and Canadian Nationals uh, heritage units. This is the 3023 EJ and E. That is Elgin, Joliet, and uh, Eastern, and it's got on there the J. It looks really cool in the orange and orange and gray on the tanks and the trucks and stuff like that. And I really thought this engine was sharp. And like I say, there's quite a few Canadian National Heritage locomotives that are in this latest release that Scale Train's done in the rivet counter. And here's some of the front of the locomotive. Get here to where you guys can see the front end of the locomotive and the detail of the grab irons and the MU hoses. It does have the brown knuckle couplers on it, and the number boards do light up all the time. And I like how that the door on the front, it almost looks like you could open that door. And like I say, this engine's got many grab irons on it, and the antenna array. It does have mirrors and sunshades on this engine, and the detail on this engine is just really stands out. You can see going over here above the metal walkway and the metal etched here on the top of the engine right here. You can see the metal right here, and the exhaust, that is what they call a square exhaust. That's what was in the contents on the box. And one thing that I think is really cool in this locomotive is, since it's a Canadian National, is the rock pilot that's down on the back end of the locomotive down there. It's right under the coupler there. And this engine has rear ditch lights. They're not alternating ditch lights, but they're rear ditch lights. And it also has the warning light there. That light comes on. It comes on when the locomotive is in DPU mode. So I thought that was really sharp. And so let's power the lights on here so you can see what the lights look like. There's what the headlights look like there, and the ditch lights. And we'll get the horn here. Sounds really good. Let's power up the locomotive. Let you guys hear the locomotive. I've already done some testing with the locomotive. The locomotive runs really well with my other Gevo that I got, my Kansas City Southern 5010. I put it together and done a consist, and it seems to run pretty good. And one doesn't seem to run over the other. It I wouldn't think you would have to do any speed matching to run these locomotives. I do believe that there needs to be some breaking in of the locomotive when you first get it. On these Gevos, And we'll put it in reverse here. You can see the lights. You see the lights on back here, and the rear headlight back here. I've got her in speed step 28, and there's at 1 with the locomotive here. And this is speed step 2. This is rolling at speed step 2. And like I say, I did some braking in. I ran the engine in reverse and forward for about 30 minutes at different speeds. For some of that time, I ran the engine in a real low pace, like I'm doing now. And you can see that there isn't very much, the engine is just rolling here pretty smooth. And that's speed step 3. It's picking up pretty well. And here's what the brake sounds like. Okay, now we'll change direction and go forward. Speed step 1. And I would suggest if, like a 30-minute break in is not enough, you might want to go up to about an hour break in. I always run my engines in reverse. I do it first in reverse, then I run in forward. But that's at speed step 2. Trying to slowly pan here with the engine. Like I say, there's still a little in the, looks like probably in the gear or whatever, that could or might need to be lubed just a little bit, but I don't think it would need very much. And then as I kick her up a notch, she rolls out pretty smooth there. We will do another video here shortly of it running on the layout, fully around the layout. But right now we're gonna go to about here to show you guys forward and rear movement. One thing that I want to point out, Scale Train's done a video that the head guy, Shane, the CEO of Scale Trains, him and his head engineer did a video, and they was mentioning that there were some things that didn't quite make the grade, and some product was going to be sent back to the factory over in China. And one thing that they pointed out was, or two things that they pointed out was paint that was not done correctly on 2 locomotives, one being the Ferromex, one being this locomotive here. And that on this locomotive, or for this locomotive, they were going to come out with a new shell, a repainted shell. And for anybody that had bought this engine, through Scale Trains, they would take care of the issue. Anybody that bought the locomotive through a dealer, they would, if you retained your receipt, they would do something that way. So they're going to take care of the problem. To me, I don't foresee it to be a big problem, other than maybe this paint, maybe when the locomotive was painted, it was not dark enough or not light enough. To me, and looking at some video of the real Gevo, to me, the side paneling looks almost exactly the same as what the real one does. I'll turn off my light here. That way you can see the locomotive in a little bit more, without having the added light to it. This is kind of this, natural state here without any added light other than my headlight above, or my light above. And so, but like I say, from what I got from the video, the Scale Trains video that Shane and his head or lead engineer done, they were going to send a lot. They were going to send a lot of stuff back that wasn't done correctly. A lot of product back that they had gotten and looked at and made a decision that it wasn't done to their standards, and they were going to send it back. Again, on the paint job, they were going to, for customers that, like I've purchased this locomotive, they're going to fix, what they're saying, that, of the colors, make it the correct color. On the Ferromex, I guess it just did not match at all. But they have found a way to correct the issue and get it to where it's what the prototype looks like. And they're also doing that on this locomotive here. So if you have bought this locomotive, if you are waiting for this locomotive to come from Scale Trains, definitely hold on to your receipt. And we're the hobby shop that I've got mine, and I am going to contact them tomorrow or Tuesday. Actually, I'll be going to the hobby shop, and so but as for the locomotive running and everything, it runs fine. And I've done a little pulling with it, but I've also, like I say, I've broken it in a little bit as well. So but I wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up. If you're watching the video and this is the locomotive that you want to get, they are going to redo and put out a new shell. I don't believe they're going to replace the whole locomotive. They did say that there was a locomotive that they were going to replace, but say like you bought a DCC with sound or a DCC non-sound, the locomotive that was going to be replaced was going to be just a DC. You'd have to put in the decoder, and if it was sound, you'd have to put in the sound. So, and I don't know if that's the Ferromex locomotive that they're doing, but it's best to watch the whole video from Scale Trains to get the full clarity of it. But there are some things that they're making some big changes on, and some product going back. But I know that on this locomotive, they're going to have a new shell that's going to be coming out probably in the next 3 or 4 months. And if you have your receipt, if you bought from a retailer or if you bought from Scale Trains, they will get you a new shell in the correct color. So but as for the review, we pretty well can wrap this thing up. And engine sounds really, really awesome. Like I say, And I can show you guys, let me turn the lights off here. I can show you guys. We'll power the engine off. And I can show you guys. I'm going to pause. Okay, this is the engine laying down on the side. This is the new Scale Trains box that the Gevo comes in, and that's what they do. They drill the holes on the bottom of the tank there. That way you can hear the sound a lot more better. I have checked, and I always do on every locomotive that I get. I check the space on the axles with my NMRA gauge. Every one of them was perfectly in gauge. I mean, perfect. Even as good as a Kato locomotive. They were perfect in gauge. And so this is the underbody detail of the locomotive, so you guys can see that, and some real good of the side of the locomotive. But I thought I'd share with you guys what the bottom of it looked like with the tank with the holes in it. I'm going to try and find out if I can get my Kansas City Southern that doesn't have the holes in it, if I can send the tank in, or maybe I can match up to drill holes in that. But with these holes drilled in there, you can hear this a lot better. I mean, it sounds really, really good. But there she is. There's some views on this side, and we'll turn her around here, and so you guys can see this side of the locomotive as well. There's this side of the locomotive. To me, I think that orange is perfect the way it is. I mean, I wouldn't think that they're going to replace the shell and with a different color. I don't know if the color is going to be a darker orange or lighter orange, but I think just as it is really, really sharp. And so I'm happy with mine, but if they're going to send out a new shell, I'll be happy to take one. So, but there's my review, guys. Thanks for watching, and please give me a big thumbs up, and hit that like button, and please leave me a comment. I really appreciate that. If you watch the video and enjoy the video, please give me a comment and tell me what you think about this. And again, watch the Scale Trains video in its full entirety, and I might be able to leave a link for that video, and it's talking about locomotives that this was after the Amherst train show, that Shane and his lead engineer was talking that they were going to send some stuff back. They were going to redo some stuff, and there was 2 locomotives that the paint jobs they were going to fix, and this was one of them. So, but as for that, again, we thank you all for watching. We appreciate you subscribing to my channel, and y'all have a good one, and take care out there. Bye for now. This is Alan.